Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to be drawing the isometric block given right on the screen, having an isometric of a circle in it. So first of all, we are going to draw our straight horizontal line. That is the first thing we are going to be doing, which is going to serve as our reference line. Then we are going to calculate the total length of this particular isometric block which we have been given. All right, so this is from this particular place to this place is 144. From here to here is 32. All right, because we have been given the radius to be 32, so that's 114 plus 32, and we are going to calculate the back also, which is also 32. So this is going to be 8. All right, this is 7 and this is 1, so that is 178. So at this point, starting from the center, we are going to draw using our 30-60 degree set square towards this spot. Then we are going to draw also like this, making use of our 30-60 degree set square also, and then we are going to draw a straight line upward. Please ensure you are making use of thin line. The total length here is what? 178. all right, so I'm going to pick 17.8 centimeter. Okay, it's going to be at this point here. Okay, now for this part, we have been told that the length is what? 64, as we can see right in this place. So I'm going to pick what? 64 meter here. Okay, this is 64. So at that point of 178, I'm going to draw a straight line upward like this. Then at this point also, I'm going to draw a straight line upward also in this manner. All right, so now the height, we have been given this particular place height to be what? 19. This is 19, so I'm going to pick 19 millimeter. Please ensure you make use of thin lines while drawing this. Is 19 millimeter. Then at this point, I'm going to what? Draw a straight line like this, and then towards this part also, I'm going to draw a very thin straight line. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to what? Finish up the box first. Let's finish up the box. So at this point, I'll draw, making use of my thin line. Then at this point also, I'll join this together like this. Okay, so now what we are going to be doing first is to draw this isometric of a circle, which is right at the front. We have been given the radius to be what? To be 32 millimeter. So first of all, I'm going to find the center of this particular place. We have been told that the total length is what? Is 64. So the center is going to be 32. Okay, now I'm going to mark what also here? I'm going to mark 64 inward also, since the radius is what? 32. So I'm going to mark 64 inward. Okay, then mark the center, which is the radius, which is 32. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to divide this like this. Then at this point also, I'm going to draw like this. Then at this point, I would draw in this manner. Okay, so now the first thing I'm going to do is to pick my ruler, and then join this longest diagonals together. Okay, I'm going to join the longest diagonal together like this. Okay, so that's the first thing we are going to be doing. Now I'm going to pick my compass. Place it at this end here. Let me label this point as A1, this is B1, C1, and then this is D1. Okay, this is E1 and F1. all right, so I'm going to place my compass right here, then to point E1. Okay, from here to point E1, then I will draw like this. Let me thicken that out. Okay, so now to draw this other part here, which is here, I'm going to take my ruler from point C1 here, which is this point. Okay, I'm going to draw to this part here. Okay, so I'm going to place my compass right here. So at this part where they meet, I'm going to join them like this, in this manner. All right, so now next thing we are going to do is to draw the base, this particular part which is down. So in order to do that, I'm going to project this place downward first. I'm going to project this particular place downward, or better still, just mark it instead of projecting it. Just mark this up here, mark it downward. Yeah, then pick your ruler and draw a straight line from here, which is going to serve as this longest diagonal. Please ensure it is a thin line. All right, now from this point here, I'm going to be marking a point 2 on that longest diagonal line, which is here. Okay, I'm going to be marking a point. So this is going to be, let's say this is our point P1, this is going to be P2. I just mark the point downward. I wouldn't want to repeat everything I've done here also downward, in order not to make our drawing rough. Then from point E1 also, I'm going to mark the point downward likewise also. Then at this point here, which is here, I would just mark a point downward also there. So picking my compass, placing it here, I'm going to extend it to this particular place, then I'll draw like this. Okay, so I can join from here to this place. Okay, like this, in this manner. Now I'm going to project point A1. I'm going to project point A1 downward like this. Project this downward, and then making use of this particular place length here, we are going to mark this place. Okay, we are going to mark this particular place here. I wouldn't want to draw it so the lines will not be too many and make you confused. All right, so at this point also, we are going to mark it in order to know where our curve is going to be stopping. Okay, we placed our compass at point A1 and drew this curve, so we want to do exactly the same for the down part. That's why we are projecting downward, then we are marking these points also. So at this point here, I'm going to place my compass, extend my compass here. All right, then just project like this. Okay, in this manner. So this is the base. Okay, this is the base. Now let's move to the back also and do exactly the same thing. The back is also 32. It's also having a radius of 32. That's before we draw this small circle. The back is also having a radius of 32. So I'm going to pick half, which is what? Which is going to be 64. That is going to be 32. I'm going to pick half of this 64. Then I'm going to pick my what? My 32 here also, and then pick the 64. All right, like this. Now making use of thin lines, please ensure you make use of thin lines. I'm going to what? Mark at this point. I don't want to be marking too many lines. I don't want there to be too many lines, so I'm going to mark at this point. Then also we are going to be getting our center point at the other edge also, which is going to be here. All right, then at this point also, our center point here is going to be here. Okay, so that's that for that. Now the longest diagonal is very necessary, so we are going to be drawing that. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing now is to place our compass from this particular place. Then what? I'll draw this particular curve, which is right here. All right, like this. Now we want to draw the curve here. What we did right in the first part is what we are going to be doing right here again. So I'm going to pick my ruler from this edge, project to this point here. Let me label here as point A2, B2, this is C2, and then this is D2. All right, so this is going to be our point P3 here. That is just like we did for this place that we drew from point C1 to this part. We are also doing exactly the same thing. So placing my compass at point P3, All right, placing my compass at point P3, I would finish this up like this. Okay, so that is that for this curve, which is right here. All right, so we are going to do exactly the same for the lower part. All right, so in order to do that, I'll place my compass at point D2, then my set square, sorry, at point D2, then project downward. All right, then from this point here, I'm going to measure the length, which is what, 19. So I'll measure 19, which is going to stop here. Okay, just like we did for here. Then draw the diagonal, which is the longest diagonal here, like this, making use of a very faint line. Please, we are going to make use of a very faint line. Then from point P3, I'm going to what, mark that point on the longest diagonal. I'm going to mark that point. All right, like this. Okay, so making use of this point and the total length here, making use of this point, I'm going to what, draw like this. Okay, we can erase this is not necessary. Okay, so this is where it is going to be stopping. Actually, it's going to be stopping right here on this diagonal line here. Okay, so we can join that together with this, like this. So now let's move to this particular diameter here. To be precise, this particular circle here, we have been told that it is what, of 22 millimeter diameter. So starting from the center here, I'm going to pick what, 11 to my right hand side, then 11 here likewise. Then do also the same thing for the upper part. I'm going to pick 11 upward and 11 downward. Okay, it's going to be in this manner. Now after doing that, what we are going to be doing next is to draw a box, likewise the same way we did for the bigger side. We are just drawing a smaller circle. That's exactly what we are doing. Okay, so all this will be done with a very faint line. Please, all this should be done with a very faint line. All right, so now we have gotten our longest diagonal because it's exactly the same thing. So now we want to draw the isometric of a circle. Now I've also done a video on isometric of a circle. If you don't know how to do that, please, or you are getting confused because these lines are getting many, just check the link in the description below. I'm going to be dropping a single video on isometric of a circle. All right, so at this point here, we are going to what, draw like this. Okay, then placing it here also, we are going to what, place it at this edge also, then do exactly the same thing again. Okay, now we are going to pick from here to this point, and then from here also to this point, like this. So making use of this place, first I'm going to join these 2 points together like this. Then I'll place it here also and join these 2 points together in this manner. So that is that for this particular circle, which is here. Let me thicken out this place, since it's going to be taken out, in order for our drawing to start having its desired shape. All right, so now there's also a small circle which is right here. Okay, there's a small circle which is right here. So in order to do that particular one, we are going to be drawing also the center. Okay, we are going to have to get the center of this particular circle. It is also going to be of what, 22. It is also going to be of 22 millimeter. That is 22 millimeter, the circle here. So what we are going to do is to pick 11 11, just like the way we did for this other one, and then we are going to pick what, 11 here also, and 11 here also. All right, so we are going to get our isometric box first. That's the first thing to do. Okay, we are going to get our isometric box first, like this. Okay, so now after doing that, we are going to place it right here. Since we are only drawing half, we are not drawing the full. Okay, so we are going to place it right here first, then just mark this place up like this. Okay, that's towards this part. Then we are going to draw this other part also like this. Since there is left with a little bit here, this part, then this particular place we are just going to draw from here to this particular place now. Then placing my compass at this point. Okay, then draw like this. Okay, so this is this particular place, which is right here. So the next thing we are going to do is to draw this box here, which is kind of the simplest thing in this particular drawing. Actually, all of them are simple. So in order to do that, we are going to be doing a little bit of calculation. We have been given this place to be what? 64. All right, and this particular place is 144. So 144 minus 64 is going to give us 50. Okay, so that means the length from here to here is going to be what? 25, and length from here to here is going to be 25. It is going to be equal. All right, so from here, this point here, which our 32 is stopping, this is where our 32 is stopping. I'm going to pick 25. Okay, I'm going to pick 25 millimeter. So at that point of 25 is where I'm going to draw my straight line here, this thick straight line here. All right, then let me tick in this. Okay, I'm taking this out also. Okay, so I'm going to project a straight line upward, which is of what? Of length of 45 millimeter, which is of length of 45 millimeter, like this and like this. Now this is 45, so I'll pick 45 just in one point. You can easily make use of our 30-60 degree set square to bring it downward like this. Now this is what? 64. This is 64, so I'll pick 64 like this. All right, I'll mark my 64 millimeter. So it's actually not long enough, so we are going to be extending it. Okay, so this is 64 here. Then I'll project backwards like this. Okay, so at this point we are going to have to draw a little bit here and then a little bit here. This is what's given to us as 13. This is 13. All right, so I'm going to mark 13. That's actually accurate without measurements. Then I'll mark 13 here also. Okay, this 13, this 13. Let me erase the excess. Okay, now at this point I'm going to what? Project backwards. Then at this point also I'll project like this. Okay, so that's that for that. Let me thicken it out because the lines are many there. In order not to cause confusion, I have to be thickening it out immediately. Okay, so that's that for this place. If you are finding value in this video, please ensure you smash the subscribe button for more educational contents like this from this channel. Okay, so now we have been given this particular place length from here to here. Okay, from here to here to be what? 64 minus 13. From here to here is 13, then this place to this place is 64, so that's going to give us 51. Right, so we are going to pick 51, yeah, then join this together. Okay, so that's that for that place. Now we are going to project this particular place downward like this. We have been told that the height here is what? 13. So I'm going to mark 13 from this place, so it is going to be stopping here actually. Then from that point I would project like this, making use of my thin line. Then I'll project downward also like this, so we can thicken that out since we know where it is actually stopping. Okay, now we are going to be what? Projecting this place downward likewise, stopping here. Then we thicken out this place like this. Let's erase this excess. Okay, so what is left for us to do is to join this together as we have seen right in the picture. Okay, so this is this particular circle isometric which we have been given. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, share this video with your friends or classmates that might need it, and also do well to dimension your drawing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.